At first, police officer Patrick wondered if he had driven all this way to the gas station for nothing. Apparently, there was a woman acting suspicious, but he did not think her behavior stood out that much. He knew that as a police officer he had to respond to calls for help with the same urgency and respect no matter the circumstances. So he approached the scene with an open mind, ready to assess the situation and act accordingly. He had been trained to observe his surroundings and look for anything out of the ordinary so he could determine if there was any danger to himself or the people around him. He was prepared to take any necessary action to protect everyone in the vicinity. So he continued to analyze the scene, looking for any telltale signs that something was wrong. He was also aware of his own body language and the way he interacted with the people around him, always careful to remain professional. But once the woman realized that he had arrived on the scene, things went from 0 to 100 really quickly. The woman came out of her car with her hands high up in the air. She knew that there was no way to escape anymore. Patrick was still wiping the sweat off his forehead. He had never expected that this would take place, but he was very glad it was over. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and click the notification bell for more amazing stories. Patrick was wary of the situation. He had to stay alert and be ready to act if the woman tried anything. He continued to keep his distance and spoke calmly to her, so as not to startle her or escalate the situation. It is important to remember that any situation can become dangerous very quickly. Even when a person is compliant and unarmed, a split-second decision can have deadly consequences. It is essential for police officers to stay aware and alert, even when someone appears to be complying. Officers must be able to assess the situation objectively and act accordingly. This requires extensive training and practice, so that officers can make the best decisions in high-stakes situations. It is also important to remain conscious of the power dynamics inherent in police interactions. Even when a person appears to be compliant, they may be scared and intimidated by a police officer's presence. Police must be trained in de-escalation tactics, such as speaking calmly and respectfully, in order to reduce the potential for violence. Additionally, officers must be prepared to act quickly if a situation escalates. Finally, officers must always be mindful of the dangers of the job and be willing to put themselves in harm's way if necessary. The woman was put in handcuffs and pressed on the floor while Patrick and another officer started checking her car. They knew there was something in there that this woman did not want them to see under any circumstances. This was why it was so important for them to be thorough in their investigation. They looked in every nook and cranny, making sure they didn't miss a thing. They had to be careful in their inspection, as the slightest mistake could compromise the whole investigation. It was essential for them to pay close attention to every detail, looking for any clues that could help them understand what had happened. Furthermore, they had to be aware of any potential dangers that might be hidden in the car, such as weapons or explosives. Finally, they had to take into account the possibility of evidence being destroyed or hidden in hard-to-reach places. Thus, Patrick and his partner had to be very careful in inspecting the woman's car. And it did not take them long to find it. All the color quickly drained out of Patrick's face. He could simply not believe that this woman had been trying to hide them from them and get away with it. He felt his heart pounding in his chest as he tried to take in the implications of what he had just discovered. He felt himself shaking with disbelief and anger. He was overwhelmed with confusion, unable to comprehend how this could have happened. His mind raced to find the answers, but he could not make sense of it. He felt a sense of betrayal and wondered what else he did not know. Sometimes the unexpected happens, and the police are taken aback. Even in cases that seem like they will turn out to be routine, the officers can be caught off guard by the results. Some cases can be so different that the outcome can be quite a shock. The officers can be left feeling confused and uncertain about how to proceed. In some cases, the evidence can be overwhelming and leads to a conviction, while other cases may require more investigation. No matter what the situation, the police have to be prepared for anything, as they never know what they will uncover. They must be vigilant and stay focused on the facts, no matter how unusual the case may be. But what was in the woman's car? Why had she been acting so strange? And why did Patrick react shocked to the find? When a call came in from a gas station reporting a strange situation, Patrick, a well-trained police officer, volunteered to check it out. Confident in his ability to stay calm and collected, he headed to the scene without expecting anything out of the ordinary. Upon arrival, Patrick saw two teenagers harassing motorists. His presence alone scared them off, and he reported the incident to the gas station attendant. While doing so, he noticed a young woman with a sporty Audi behaving strangely. She repeatedly checked her fuel gauge and pressed firmly on her already locked trunk. Patrick decided to wait until she paid for her gas before investigating further. However, the woman suddenly drove off without paying. Patrick, surprised, began to follow her without using his sirens to avoid escalating the situation. Despite being chased, the woman didn't change her driving behavior, which made Patrick doubt his initial judgment. He considered that she might have paid in advance. Still unsure, he decided to verify the situation with the gas station. Patrick called the gas station and confirmed that the woman had not paid. Just then, a notification tone went off in his police car. Realizing he needed to act quickly, he re-entered the woman's license plate into the system to track her and prepared to apprehend the suspect, aware that situations could change instantly and he must be ready to respond accordingly. Binding bonds through beautiful tales. Thank you for watching.